video we are going to be making that neckline that you see on the thumbnail, and also the sleeve. All right, so I have my dress made here. This is a bustier without padding, so it doesn't have any pad. All right, so this is how it looks without padding. All right, so the first thing you want to do is we are going to be doing only the front part. The back part will not be padded. So the first thing that you do is you measure your front neckline, and in my case here I have 14.5 inches for the front neckline. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to cut 3 or 4 times of that for the ruffling for the front. So I'm going to cut roughly 60 inches for the length. So let's just go ahead and fold this somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. Fine. This is an organdy fabric. Okay, it's a little bit thicker than the organza. Right, so because of schedule and all that, I want to try and give you guys a live, like not voiceover, but something that you guys need. So I'm going to be folding 6 inches. Okay, and I'll pin this down. Okay, I'm marking 6 inches plus half inches for the sewing or for the joining of this, and then I'm going to be cutting it out. Since I have serged, okay, some of the fabric will definitely shred away. Alright, so I'm just sewing on a 1/4 inch sewing allowance, and then once I am done, I'll turn it to the right side, and I'm going to make the seam line fall in the middle. So you shift your allowance to one side. Okay, so this is my center front now, and where the seam is my center back. Okay, so after you've placed your center back in position, make sure that you have equal sides on both sides. Okay, so make sure that you have your seams in in, in like your seam in the middle. Okay, then you pin like that. Yes, so just like that, keep pinning this. Okay, need to iron this at all, but if you want, you can iron this. So right now I'm just going to straighten the edge of my. Okay, so now the next thing is to run a straight stitch in the middle. Okay, all the way through to this side. Right, so I'm going to set my machine to a loose, which I've already done. I'm going to set my needle. So like I just stopped right at the edge here. Okay. So right after that, I'm just going to begin to ruffle this out. Okay, I'm going to start pulling. All right. So you see that, just pull this, ruffle this out. Make sure you take your time so that you don't, the thread does not tear or rip. Alright, once it rips, then it means you are done ruffling. Okay. Pause. So after this, just go ahead before you tighten the knot. Okay, just go ahead and check it out if it's 14.5 inches. Alright, so if it's more than that, just keep ruffling till you have your 14.5 inches. So this 14.5 inches, it means it is more than that. So I'll just keep ruffling this out. Okay, I'll just keep squeezing this together until I have 14.5 inches. Right, so keep squeezing this. I think this will be enough. If not, let's just take the measurement again. Okay. This will be more than that, or will be okay. Okay, so this okay. All right, this okay. This 15 inches, which is fine. We're going to trim off the rest later. Next thing that you need to do right now is you're going to be using your thread and your needle to secure this on your neckline. So we are not going to be running stitches in the middle like that. No, we're going to be securing this with thread and needle. So I have my thread in 4 right now, and I'm going to start with this side. Yeah, I'm going to start with this, so the center, okay, matching the center of this, and I'm going to try to hide my seam as good as possible, okay, in between the main fabric and the ruffling, okay, so just like that. Right, so make sure that you are doing this correctly. So I'm going to pick just a bit from, make sure it doesn't touch your lining. Okay, just pick a bit, and also on the under parts pick a bit like that, and then start stitching. So I'm going to cross this out like twice just to lock my stitch, okay, to secure my stitch. Right, so you want to do this, you want to look for the center against this neckline. Okay, so you just pick a bit of the fabric of the neckline like that, and then you pick the center part. Make sure your seams are not appearing on both sides, so you kind of lock it twice, okay, and then you pull so that it secures really well. Okay, so just keep doing this till you are done. All right, so make sure that you make sure that it doesn't twist. Okay, you see it has the tendency of twisting, so use this center line here, okay, as your guide. Right, the center line here as your guide to attaching this. Okay, you can just go ahead and then look for the center, open it up like so, and then run your machine through, but I prefer it this way just to hide my stitches. So if you are making a hand stitching, make sure that you are securing this well so that it doesn't rip. Okay, so guys, after holding the ruffles down with your thread and needle, the next thing you want to do is you want to push this out like that. Okay, and then okay, and then this totally optional. Okay, it's totally optional. Okay, just do as you see fit here. You can either go ahead and iron this a bit, make sure your iron is not too hot, or you can just pick up your iron and then press this down a bit, just a bit. So I'm just going to press this down just a bit, okay, just a bit. Make sure your iron is not too hot or your ruffles, your organdy will bend. Okay, So hey guys, after pressing this down, this is how it looks. Okay, so as you can see, it looks so beautiful. I wish I can feel myself right now. Okay, so guys, let's set this aside and move to the sleeve area. So I'm going to show you something right now. Make sure you pay attention to this. All right, so you see this it's not going to go with this, is going to be attached to the sleeve, and this also going to be attached to the armhole. Okay, so you just hold this down, you pin this down, okay, so that this gets attached to your armhole. So anytime you are attaching your sleeve, okay, you just attach it this way. Okay, so the back is not part because this design only applies to the front. Okay, so I'm going to be doing the other side too. So just hold this down. As you can see, hold this the down part down to your sleeve like that. Okay, now we are going to be cutting out our sleeve. This is all I have right now. Okay, so the sleeve needs to be more wider, as in like the width of the sleeve needs to be wider so that the bulginess and the puffiness can come out well. So I'm going to be using this white. This is going to be the length of my sleeve. I'm going to be using all of this. This is 24 inches. Okay, I'm going to be using all of this for the length of my sleeve because there is a fold at the upper part which is joining the the armhole to the ruffles, remember. So I'm going to be using all of this. Okay, so I'm going to be splitting this right straight into two. Okay, I'm going to split this into two. All right, so yes, let's do that. So the next thing is to split this into two. Make sure that they are. All right, so guys, after splitting this into two, now we have sleeve A and sleeve B. Okay, so the next thing before anything is neating the edges so that it looks neat and straight. Right. Okay, so guys, I am done with the serging of the sleeves. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set these two aside, and I'm going to be cutting the band for the sleeve. Okay, so I'll just cut, I think 13 inches will be okay, including the sewing allowance. So guys, I've cut out the band, ironed and inserted it. Okay, so I'm going to be setting this two aside right now, and I'm going to continue with the sleeve. Okay, so the next thing for us to do right now is to create our folding for the upper part. Right, so this is the folding right now, but I'm going to be measuring that of the bodice. All right, what I have on the bodice, that is only the upper part. Okay, because we need to join this to this and it needs to be equal. Okay, so I'm just going to, so this 3 inches for this side. So on the main ruffle for the dress is 3 inches, but I'm going to fold in 4 inches and I'm going to iron this. Guys, I'm done ironing my 4 inches on fold in. So now I'm going to just sew in just to hide my knitting, okay, or my overlock stitch. So I'm going to fold this all the way through, and then when I am done, okay, I'm going to be measuring right from this folded side. Okay, I'm going to be measuring my 3 inches there like that, and from there I'm going to run a straight stitch all the way through to the other side, okay, to create my elastic casing. Okay, so guys, I'm done with the sleeves. Okay, now we are going to be cutting our armhole. So just quickly fold this like so. Okay, fold this up and then do the same thing to this. Alright, so this is the right side. It doesn't matter where. we're just going to bring out our armhole. So, so guys, we're bringing out our armhole. We need our dress. Okay, just like that. Okay, this is our allowance. We have about 2 inches allowance for this dress. So I'm going to use as about 1 inch, and then I'm going to be tracing the rest out. So making sure that everything is aligning well. Okay, I'm going to bring out my armhole just like that. Okay, so now that the armhole has been brought out, I'm going to iron the sleeves well. Okay, I'm going to iron the sleeve neatly because it looks kind of so now that the sleeves, the armhole is brought out, okay, what I want to do next is to insert my elastic for the upper part. But before that, I'm going to be ruffling the side. I'm going to run a straight stitch all the way from the bottom to the bottom. All right, from one side to the other. I'm going to be ruffling the side too as well. Okay, so guys, I'm done with running a straight stitch like I said. Okay, so the next thing is just to ruffle this up. So I'm going to quickly ruffle this up. Okay, I'm going to ruffle this out. Alright, so now that I have this, I'm going to measure this and see if I have 13 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to check. This is more than 13 inches. I'm going to be ruffling a bit more so that I can get 13 inches. Okay, so guys, this is 13 inches as you can see. Now I'm going to secure the ends really well. Okay. Okay, so now I'm done with the balancing. Alright, so I'm going to iron one side in 1/2 inch. Okay, and then I'm going to use the side that I've not ironed. Okay, I'm going to place this on it like that. Okay, and I'm going to stitch all the way through to this side. Okay, just like that, using 1/2 inch. And then when I'm done, I'll fold this in by 1/2 inch and then sew it on. Okay, so guys, we're about to insert our elastic. So I have 10.5 inches of elastic right now. I am going to be sewing on 1/2 inches on both sides. Okay, so I begin by inserting my elastic in. Okay, so remember I created a 1/2 inch casing, and this elastic is more than a 1/2 inch. Okay, it's less than a 1/2 inch, not more than. This elastic is less than a 1/2 inch, so it's really going to stick in very well. Like that is for the back. Okay, you're going to be closing one side. All right, you're going to be finishing the edges of one side. And careful attention to how I'm about to attach the sleeve. Okay, so this is the ruffle for the sleeve. Okay, and this is the ruffle for the front. So what I'm going to do right now, no, this is the for the sleeve, and this is the ruffle for the front. So I'm going to be attaching the ruffle to the ruffle like that. Okay, okay, so just This is how I'm going to sew it. I've already pinned my armhole, so I'm going to be sewing this 1.5 inch all the way to the armhole and stop right here. And then for the back, okay, remember that I said we should close this end because you're not going to be attaching any ruffle to the back. So I'm going to begin by pinning right the center to this area where the elastic is to this area, and then I'm going to be sewing, okay, all the way to stop here. All right, so that's how I'm going to be attaching the sleeve. So guys, this is how it looks right now. It looks so beautiful. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to be seeing you in my next one. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video. Bye bye.